going. Yo. What's happening, Lifer? Just setting things up real quick. Bear with me. There we go. Multi-streaming, so I gotta set up chats and all sorts of shit. Can you have something in Roblox? I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you there. I'm a little too old for that, Lifer. I play games, but I don't play Roblox. Oh, what is up, everybody? What is up? What's up, Hussein? Where's everybody from? On the mobile side. So I got two things going on right now. I got chat on normal YouTube horizontal. We got a poll over there. And then in the mobile, I want to know where everybody's from. We got a good show tonight. Good show tonight, boys. Got some good topics to cover. Australia, huh? Damn. From down under, mate. Oi. Actually, you guys say oi there? Is that more like a UK thing? Oi. I feel like we should all just say it. There we go. Get that out of my ear a little bit. What is happening, people? What is up? What is up? What is up? Fun fact that I'm pretty excited about. I don't know if anybody else is going to be excited about it, but I'll tell you something. We broke through 5,000 subscribers. Last Thursday, it was 4,000, and I was like pretty pumped about that. And what up, Zeke? How's it going, buddy? Yeah, you know, last week I was like, I wonder if we're gonna make 5K by next Thursday, and we're actually past it. We're at whatever the sub count is there at the bottom, 5,659 or something like that. So hey, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I would appreciate it, even if you are way in a different country, because that's pretty freaking awesome. I love that. I love jumping on here. I press this go live button, and all of a sudden everybody's coming into my chat from all over the place. You know what I mean? I have not heard of that. I don't even know how to spell your... I'm just going to call you Sandy. Because I don't know how to pronounce your name. No, I have not heard of the whatever that is. I've been getting more aware as I've been doing this. People love to come in and say some crazy shit and then have me say some crazy shit. And then once I say it out loud, I'm like, fuck, I said it. The richest movie star in the world, huh? No. I don't even know. What movies is he in? What movies is he in? I'm curious now. What part of Australia? Zeke, what part of Australia? And what time is it there? Shouldn't you be in bed? Shouldn't you be taking a little snooze? Ah, Bollywood. Ah, yeah. I know what Bollywood is, but I have never seen an actual Bollywood movie. They're big though. I know that for sure. Do you know who Kevin Bacon is? That's the real question. Do you know who Kevin Bacon is? All right, so tonight, let me just give you a little bit of like a preview. He has 1.4 billion. Jesus. Holy smokes. So yeah, so the way the stream's gonna go tonight is we're gonna react to some stuff on Twitter. I kind of saved a couple things, didn't watch it, but I was like, this is kind of interesting. We'll watch some of those. So we'll do like some react content. I had some like Twitter posts to look at, and then I also have a couple YouTube videos to watch and react to, and then we'll jump right into the topics tonight. So as you can see, tonight's topics. So sadly, I'm turning 43 next month. And I started hitting the age where like mushrooms and moss are growing on me now. So I figured it's time to do like a little bit of a knowledge transfer and pass along some life lessons that I personally have learned over the decades of being. You're 43? Dang. Do you feel old too? Sandy, you feel old? Yeah, so I got 10 lessons that I want to just pass on to people. And then after that, we're going to talk about loyalty, and specifically loyalty. I mean, it can go either way for a man or a woman, but this channel's kind of aimed at men. So we're going to talk about loyalty from the male perspective and kind of the truth about it too, because I think over the years, the definition of loyalty has changed, and I don't necessarily think it's for the better. I think things got a little loosey-goosey, and now we're a little lost. So we're going to chat about that. But yeah, that is a little bit later. How's everybody doing? Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm not married either. Which means everything I own is mine, and I don't have to give it up for nobody. Though, like, honestly, there was a time when I like thought about marriage more. There was a time I thought about getting married. I even got engaged. And then, without going into too much detail, let's say this. I was against marriage. I was kind of like, nah, I don't really want to get married one day. And then I met a girl. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll get married. And so got engaged. Then she had an affair. So glad I didn't get married. That was a quick passing thought that I'm glad I did not do. Oh man, yeah. Not being married's the way to go. If you're a man these days, geez, yeah, don't get married. There really isn't any benefit to it. If I like look at like half of my friends that I know that are my age that got married, they're at least on their first divorce at this point. And after so many like failed relationships, not even like getting married, just failed relationships that I've had, having to start over all the time fucking sucks, you know? It's like, you know how many like animals that I've lost? Oh, you keep the dogs. Oh, you keep the cats. Oh, you keep the apartment. I'll move out. I'll move out. It's like, I'm done with that. I'm freaking done with that. You know what I'm talking about, Sandy? You feel me? And at 43, you're probably making good money too. You know what I mean? You could spend it however you want to. I knew the first time I lived with a girl, I was like, I don't know if this life's for me. Because, you know, I worked, she worked. And it was also the first time that I did like the joint bank accounts and everything. And she was like coming home with like, because we had just moved. And so she was like coming home with like all this apartment stuff, you know, like, pictures and a new plate set. I didn't like the plate set we had before, so I got a new plate set. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I didn't really care about the plate set, you know, they seemed to do fine. And then I remember we were like at the mall or something, and I wanted to buy like a $60 video game. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, I didn't ask. Like, that wasn't a question. If I could buy this video game, like, I'm gonna buy this video game. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? Like, I'm working just as much as she's working, and she's gonna like ride me and give me shit about like a $60 video game. I'm not even sure if it was 60 back then. It might have been like 50. But either way, I was like, I'm working for my money. I'm gonna buy whatever I want to buy. And ever since then, never did joint checking. Never. Won't ever do it again either. Even with the girl that I was engaged to. See? Smart. That's smart thinking. We're smart, Sandy. Me and you. I think after a certain age, though, you might get a little jaded, you know? But that's... I mean... Isn't jaded like just your life experiences? Like, it's just the way that it is, you know? Like, am I supposed to forget about all that shit? No, it's part of my life lessons. You know? It's part of the old life lessons. All right, I am gonna pull up. I'm gonna get the some of the Twitter stuff. Oh, sorry, X. Some of the X stuff. I'm gonna get that pulled up real quick here. Cause I just saw a bunch of some like kind of interesting stuff. It's like all sorts of different topics. So I figure we can kind of like go through that and, you know, see how that goes. Let me kill the music real quick. And then, like I said, we'll go on to some other stuff too. These are just Twitter clips, so I have no idea, you know. Yep, I agree. Sandy says, modern humans have existed for around 300,000 years. Marriage came around 5,000 years ago. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I also have I don't know, like, I have a different take now too, like, as I'm older and I'm not like raising kids anymore. I think if you're not raising kids, not that you shouldn't live together. It's just, I don't think there's a point to living together with your like other person. If you're not getting married, you're just dating, you know, like if you're not getting married and you're just dating and you're not having kids, you don't want kids, then I think having your own space does something. And I think it kind of keeps the spark alive, you know, excuse me, because I'll tell you, every single one of my friends, and myself included, thought, hey, like, it just makes sense. If we move in together, then we'll save money, we'll split bills, we'll get to see each other all the time. And in the guy's head, he's thinking, and we'll have more sex. Nope. Nope. You don't save money. Because girlfriends can be expensive when you live together. And I just think it's like natural for women to basically stop really kind of wanting to have sex with a man when the man is under her nose all the time. You know, there's that old saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder. I think there's truth in that. Absolutely, there's truth in that. You know? I just think that I figured it out too late in life, you know? Yeah. Live in your own, then you like, oh, this is mine. I set it up the way that I want to. Do you think if I lived with a girlfriend, I mean, my girlfriend's pretty cool, but I don't know if she'd want recording equipment just hanging out. Like there's a big freaking light right over here that, you know, I just like haul into the bedroom and you know what I mean? Like this is just my space. So, and I like being able to do whatever I want with it. And God forbid me and my girlfriend break up. I don't want to fucking move. I just want to be like, all right, it didn't work out. Like, I'm sick of moving. The only time I'm gonna move now is if I move like from one apartment to another or into a house, and it's gonna be my choice. You know what I mean? My choice. So let me kill this music real quick. And then let me go here. And then let me go here. And then I gotta do this thing. Okay. I'm learning. All right. So let's see what's on old X. I usually like, oop, that's freaking really loud. So I saw this and I thought it was pretty crazy. So if you can see this, let me just see. Yeah, all right. So if you can see this, I guess this is, well, it says it's in Cairo, Egypt. And this is a train. I'm going to play it here in a second. I just don't want the freaking sound to be super loud. But yeah, I guess like his daughter fell down in between the train and the side there, which happens often. And this dude, without hesitation, just jumped down on top of her. So, God, look at that. Look how close those things are coming. There's nothing anybody else can do either. You know what I mean? You just gotta wait. That's crazy. That's crazy. So one of the things that I think is important to understand is that men and women love differently. Okay? Men and women love differently. And I won't say that one is better than the other because nature designed it to be this way, right? So like who am I to question the grand design, right? But a man will put his life on the line for his wife and kids. He will die for his wife and his kids, his family, right? However, women, again, I'm not saying this is good or bad, but women aren't going to die for their husband because they're going to say, who would the kids live with? Right? You know? So in the man's eyes, wife and kids are important. In the woman's eyes, the kids are important, right? So that's just the way it is. So like, for instance, most likely, if the man had fallen down in that hole between the tracks and the trains over the top, I don't think his wife would have jumped down and laid on top of him like that. However, if she did, I'm sure he would still do the same thing. He did it for his daughter. I guarantee he'd do it for his wife too. So that's pretty crazy. What's this? So the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration will reduce flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports across the country, officials announced during a press conference on Wednesday. The decision could cut thousands of flights per day. The restrictions will go into effect Friday. So, well, and then right under here, right under this, I have no idea if they're like linked or not, but the UPS cargo plane that crashed Tuesday was 34 years old and needed a critical repair on its fuel tank in September. Listen, there's something about flying these days that I just really don't want to do anymore. And I know, like, if you were to compare statistics still, it'd be like, oh, there's way more car crashes, than there are airplane crashes. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, totally understand that. But I feel like there's more plane crashes now when you compare it to plane crashes, say, in like the mid 2000s or early 2000s. Something's falling apart. You know what I mean? Something's falling apart. And in a way, I think we're almost possibly seeing like the long-term effects of companies and corporations maximizing profits first, right? And so now we're starting to see these things kind of like pop up where back in the day when the airline industry was fresh, or UPS, just started flying planes around and stuff, those planes were brand new. And so they're like, yeah, we can take all the profit. We can take all the profit, all the profit. The only problem is with shareholders want more profit every year, And so then you start to penny pinch and cut corners. And then before you know it, like things like this 34-year-old airplane, are catching on fire. And people are like, what the fuck? What is going on? And I don't obviously have an answer for that, but something needs to change where shareholders and the people at the top, they got to be okay with taking a little bit less money to reinvest back into their company or their corporations, because if not, shit like this is just going to keep getting worse. And then also, like, really, like, it makes me not want to fly. I used to not like care about flying at all, but then like recently there's all this weird stuff too, like planes like colliding on the runway, not like full speed, but just sort of like head on, like bumping into each other. And it's like, how is that happening? Like, what is going on there? I don't get it. Either that or we need to come up with teleportation because, the buses and driving everywhere is too fucking slow. And planes can't seem to, for one, be on time anymore. The amount of times that I have flown and had flights delayed or canceled or, whatever. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. To the point where, like, I have to plan a buffer day on either side of whatever the important thing is, So, like, if the important event is on Saturday, Sunday, then I need to fly in like a Thursday or a Friday and leave like Monday, because I have to account for freaking missing my flights, which is so annoying. Nobody wants to do that. And also the just the flying experience is not fun, So, all right, what is this?
Half the people.
Hold on. Let me make this big. Let's make this big. You know what? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I realized you couldn't see my screen. Now you can, though. Now you can.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded. Because democracy basically means
I gotta watch that again.
government by the people,
I think it's how slow he's talking. The pauses.
of the people,
Building for
for
dramatic
the
effect.
people.
Yep. By the people, for the people.
But the people are retarded.
Oh my God. That was, I did not expect that. I'm just going to be honest. That was, whew, that one caught me. That one caught me for sure. Holy shit. But the people are retarded. All right. What is this? I heard something about this. DoorDash stock down a lot. So DoorDash stock collapses over 20% after reporting weaker than expected third quarter 2025 earnings. Yeah. Yeah. No shit. No one wants to pay $25 for like a $6 burger. You know what I mean? There are times when I get a little desperate and I'm like, every time I will, like, I'll do it. I'll be like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm going to like treat myself. And then every single time I regret it. I'm like, I spent $30 on $8 worth of food. And I don't know the inner workings and how it all works or whatever, but like, if I'm paying the restaurant the food and then there's taxes and there's like taxes and fees, and then a fee on top of that, like a DoorDash fee, and then the tip for the driver. And nowadays, you have to tip like 20%, which is crazy. And then, but before you know it, you're paying for like a $30 fucking Happy Meal. It's crazy. So like, I think they tried. I think they tried to do kind of what Uber did. And so, and there's a name for it, and I forget what it is exactly, but like, it's essentially like in the beginning when you're launching a new product, in order to like corner the market, you price the service so cheap that you're basically taking a loss on it until everybody becomes accustomed to using that service for like their daily lives. And then almost once you have them hooked, then you raise prices, almost like Uber. Like in the beginning, and I still Uber because it's way better than taxis. You know what I mean? It's just way better. But in the beginning, Uber was comparable or cheaper to taxis usually, plus less headache. Plus you had the app. It was so convenient. And now that everybody in their mind, they think I need a ride somewhere. Excuse me. Uber. It's like the first thing that comes to their mind. And now it's expensive. So I think DoorDash kind of did the same thing. I don't even know if there's anything, definitely not around where I live. There's nothing else that's similar to DoorDash. There's not even any like competition. And on top of that, like unless you're doing like Pizza Hut or Domino's, majority of the restaurants in my area don't offer delivery anyways. So like you're either going to go get it or you're paying whatever the price is for DoorDash, which is not fun. You know? Me. I wish it did not crank the volume every single time I open something. This is pretty crazy. So this is, let's see, where did it say this was? In Brazil. I cannot, Agazu Falls, forgive me. Definitely said that wrong. After heavy rain, and it says this is a disaster waiting to happen. Yes, absolutely. And I just want to point out how clueless everybody is here, because most people live such a privileged life that they don't even understand that like this bridge could just gone, you know? It could just go. So let me blow it up here. Look at that. So here's the problem. Like, this is where it's dangerous. You can see how hard the water is hitting against these like pillars. You know what I mean? Like, this is not good. This is not good. All it needs to do is like wash out one of those pillars and that whole thing is friggin' gone. And everybody just thinks it's like no big deal. Like, where's your sense of awareness? You know? Like, what the fuck? God. A little bit of a drop. Beautiful though. Like, I'd love to go there. Just I'm not gonna go there when this is happening. Not when it's a raging torrent. God. Or just, I don't know, you slip and fall off that. Bye. I want to watch this one. This is the actor from Breaking Bad, and the caption is he's talking about how he realized his smartphone is ruining his relationships. So I wanna listen to that, see what he has to say. I mean, clearly smartphones are ruining everybody's relationships, but I want to see like how he figured it out.
I try not to use my phone in front of my kids. My daughter comes running in and she's asking me a question, something, and I'm trying to just finish this quick email, and then she stopped asking and she kind of went and started playing. She's 7. This was when she was 6. And I put my phone down and I went to her and I go, you know, I want to say I'm sorry for not being, you know, responsive to you. And I go, I want to make a pact with you right now. I want to promise Daddy's not going to be on his phone when he's with you anymore.
You know, side note, you can see he split his eyebrow open at some point in his life, just like I split my eyebrow open doing jujitsu, collided heads with somebody, popped it right open. I think mine hides better than his, though. Anyways.
And she did a one-word response. She looks at me, she goes, really? You know, just really? And it broke my heart. You know what I mean? It really did break my heart. I go, I promise you I won't. And she just jumped up and threw her arms around me like she won like the biggest prize. We owe it to our kids to at least give it a shot. You know what I mean? I was having dinner earlier and it felt like such doom and gloom. They're like, no, you're gonna get left behind. This is the end all be all. I was like, but no, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Phones are the end all be all?
No, it's just technology as a whole. Like, it's like you can choose whether the technology controls you. You should control the technology.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I absolutely 100% agree with him on that. And I think that that's been something that my generation and younger is either coming to terms with or is going to have to come to terms with real soon. Now, me personally, it's not too bad. Like, it's not too bad. Like, I don't feel like I'm a slave to my phone or anything, you know, nothing like that. But I will tell you that, I had to figure this out before it became a problem. And what I mean by that is, I had to realize like how much that draw was, you know, that pull of like, should I check my phone? What if somebody messaged me? Oh my God. What if somebody messaged me and I'm going to miss it? You know, that type of, like, I guess like you could call it anxiety. You know what I mean? Like that type of anxiety daily it's just not good. You know, it's not good. And there's really it doesn't, half the time when my phone dings and I look at it, it is not something that's very important. You know what I mean? It's not something important at all. It could have waited. I guarantee you it could have waited. I guarantee you. In fact, I'm going to check right now. Oh man, people are dumb. People are dumb. There's certain parts of the internet that I have realized that as a man, it's just not worth going. Just not worth going into. Because it's like you step into a rally that's going on or something, and everybody's so like whipped up to represent like their belief or whatever that you even the most reasonable take on something comes across as absurd to them because they're just not in a frame of mind where they're even contemplating having a discussion. And most of the time for me as a man, it is areas that are like heavy with feminism, because clearly I am the enemy. For instance, there was this post on Instagram. Somebody posted that it was a female, and it was like this like multi-slide, like whatever you call it, where it's like multiple pictures in one post. And it was essentially talking about all of the reasons why jiu-jitsu is hard for women. And the annoying part is I've done jiu-jitsu for 20 years. And all I said was jiu-jitsu is just hard, period. Like if you're a 165-pound man and you show up to class and everybody else in the room is 225 and up, you're going to have a tough night. It's going to be hard. That's legit all I said. And oh my God. Simply because I did not say, yes, jiu-jitsu, you know, I guess since I didn't 100% jump on the pity party victim bandwagon, I guess, it wasn't like I was saying it was harder. I was just like, hey, jiu-jitsu is hard for everybody. Because see, in my mind, when I say, hey, jiu-jitsu is hard for everybody, no need to put like a gender on it. No need to say jiu-jitsu is harder for women or it's harder for men. All I said was jiu-jitsu is hard for everybody. Even as smaller men, sometimes we show up and there's everybody else in the room is bigger and stronger. It happens, right? There's always bigger and there's always stronger. And apparently, since I wasn't just like 100% like in agreement, like I get it. The post was basically trying to say that women have it harder, but in my mind, that's not a good mentality, right? Because it's like if you say jiu-jitsu is hard for women, well, that makes women think, well, what's the point? It's always going to be hard because I'm a woman and I'm always going to be a woman. So instead, I like to reframe it as jujitsu is hard for everybody in its own way, right? Period. The end. Because then it's not so final. Like, well, shit, jujitsu's hard because I'm a woman. And it's like, no, that's not a very positive, mental like way to look at it. Instead, you should just be like, hey, jujitsu's just fucking hard because jujitsu's hard. But that takes away the victimhood. And all of the when I posted that comment, I didn't realize like I was commenting like in the middle of a rally. Everybody was like, oh yeah, it's so much harder for us. And then I'm like, hey, it's hard for everybody. And they're like, what? What did you just say? How dare you say it's hard for you too? How dare you? How dare you talk about your hardships? I'm like, yeah, well, when I was 165, I mean, I put on a little bit of weight, but when I was 165, rolling with a guy who's 250, I'll tell you, I felt like a victim. So no need to gender it. That's it. That's all I said. But it's just people aren't ready to have discussions. That wasn't a place for a discussion. So I think I have my space here, and I make comments here, and I talk about the things that I want to talk about here, even if nobody listens. You know what I mean? Like, this is just. I was telling somebody earlier, like, this is just where I vent, and I'll continue to talk about things that I want to talk about, even if no one listens. But I think I'm just gonna stop engaging in conversations with females. I think. Because you like can't have just a conversation. Like, I just wanted to talk about jiu-jitsu and how it's hard, and I relate to your struggle, but I'm not allowed to relate to your struggle because I have a penis. Like, all right, whatever. The victimhood mindset thing, it drives me crazy. And whenever I like the way that I do it is I do these live streams, and then I have the two segments where I talk about the topics. So like tonight's topics, I'm going to talk about the 10 life lessons that I've learned now that I've turned 43. And then also the second topic is the truth about loyalty and what that is now in like the digital age or whatever. So when I talk about those topics, I will then make them into their own video that will live on the YouTube channel. And then out of those videos, I make shorts out of it, and the shorts get posted. Well, sometimes some of the topics that I talk about here on this channel that's for men get out onto the internet, and the algorithm feeds it, most likely because it wants to make people angry, but it will feed those videos to women sometimes, and they will come into my comment section and start all that shit. And I'm like, at first I would, try to have a reasonable conversation and go back and forth because that's what this channel is about. Real talk. Like, I want to have real conversations, but I can't. Like, there's no breaking through. And it's just literally like just spouting talking points, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm talking to a fucking politician. Like I'm not even getting real responses back. So I think I have to get better at not taking rage bait. Essentially, not taking the bait, and just sort of letting them think whatever they want to think, because my comments just add fuel to the fire, and that's not really what I'm going for. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting to try to have that battle, you know what I mean? All right, let's react to some Let's react to some YouTube videos. Let me get this queued up.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Yep. Let me just make sure. All right. That's there. That's there. Cool. All right. Well, let's see what this person has to say. This person's YouTube channel is Carly Upgraded. And the title of this is "What if it all works out for you?" I thought it was a positive one. You know what I mean? So let's just see what she has to say.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Carly. I'm a mindset and life upgrade mentor. I teach you how to rewire your thought patterns and change your belief systems about yourself so that you can start creating your desired reality. In this video today, we're going to be talking about normalizing the best possible outcome happening for you in your life. In order for you to manifest an outcome or create something.
Okay, so I did a video about manifestation. And in my video, I took all of the woo-woo-y, crystal-y, moon phases and all that stuff out. I think I took a much more like logical, rational, scientific approach to like what manifestation is and why it works or why it doesn't work, etc. So let's see. Please, Carly, don't let me down. I want you to talk about manifesting without talking about astrology and stuff like that. Please don't let me down, Carly. Don't let me down.
Into your reality. You first have to believe that it is possible. And what tends to happen is we do something called catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is a negative brain response where you imagine the absolute worst case scenario, like the absolute worst possible outcome that could happen. The reason that your brain does that is because your brain's job is to keep you safe. So it takes the worst possible outcome that could happen from something and it shows that to you and highlights that to you so that number one, you are either prepared for it if it happens, or number two, you just don't take action towards the thing. Now,
so I definitely will tell you that I catastrophize quite a bit. I have all of my life apparently, and like I knew that like in my mind, catastrophizing, like your brain's ability to do that, is a feature, not a bug. However, in reasonable moderation, right? And there has been times in my life where I'm like, okay, like I have to stop thinking about this thing because the odds that it's going to happen are extremely low to begin with, you know? So eventually I'm like, I got to move on from this thought. But it has, the way that I move on from it is the planning. And so when I think about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that might happen. Let's make a plan for it. Once I have a plan for it, I like go through it several times. And then I try to just be like, okay, I don't want to think about that anymore. If it happens, I have a plan. But sometimes it's easier said than done. That's for sure.
Again, your brain is just doing that to keep you safe because at the end of the day, your brain is going to choose familiarity over unfamiliarity. Even if the unfamiliarity that you are stepping into is bringing you the desired outcome that you want, your brain would rather choose a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. So it puts this worst case scenario into your mind. An example of catastrophizing is, let's say you want to start a business. Your thoughts are, well, what if I fail? What if I go bankrupt doing this? What if it doesn't work out for me? What if I do all this work and there's no payoff? What if I just prove to myself that I wasn't cut out for it? That is catastrophizing. It's all of these.
I think it's catastrophizing. And if you are one of those people that also have a lot of negative self-talk, it like it joins forces in your brain and blows everything way out of proportion. And then, you know, you're like, the catastrophizing side of things is like, what if this happens? And then your negative self-talk is like, yeah, it probably will because you suck. And it just like a tornado.
These negative things that haven't even occurred yet. But because that negative feeling of it is so strong, it instills this feeling of fear into you. And a lot of times, the vast majority of people just take the worst case scenario thoughts that, again, aren't even real, and they don't act on their goals and desires based on that catastrophized event. You need to start entertaining the idea of what if it all works out for you? Better than
I
you could
like
have ever
that.
even imagined. What if on the other side of it is more abundance, more happiness, more freedom for you to do the things that you want to do in life, more fulfillment because you're actually pursuing the things that are on your heart to do? Like, what if you adopted that as your new truth? What if that was your driving force to now take the
Okay. I don't like the whole like that's your truth thing. Whenever somebody says that, like whenever somebody's like, "Yeah, but that's my truth." That's their way of disregarding evidence that proves the contrary of whatever they're saying, you know? They'd be like, "That car, that SUV over there, that's blue." The person would be like, my truth is that it's yellow." And it's like, okay, but it's blue. Yeah, but my truth is that it's yellow. Okay, whatever. You know, it might be a bad example because there is colorblind people and all that stuff. But, it's like there's like evidence is pointing to this. And the person's like, yeah, instead of acknowledging that evidence, I'm just going to say, well, my truth is.
aligned action that you need to take in your life in order for you to create your desired outcome. The reason that I'm bringing this to your awareness is because 80% of our thoughts by the time we're in our adult life are already default set to be negative, which means I can make a pretty solid bet that every single person has catastrophized some kind of
Oh,
event in their life before. And if you want to
absolutely.
create your desired reality, you cannot be the person who is fueling the
Absolutely.
fear and is fueling the negative scenario and letting that negative scenario win because you're the creator of your life. Your belief systems about whether or not something is possible for you is what sets the tone for whether or not it will actually happen. So, with the power of awareness and now knowing this information, when you are faced with an event in your life where you might be catastrophizing it, you're thinking of the worst case scenario. Oh no, what if it doesn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
What if it can't happen for me? You're going to be able to catch that in the moment and say, this is my brain just catastrophizing right now.
Sure.
This is my brain keeping me in familiarity because it's the normalcy of what it is used to and familiar with. But I do not have to act on this. I do not have to believe this. And I do not have to move through my life like any of this is true.
Sure.
I am allowed to choose that I can create a reality for myself where the best possible case scenario happens. And you say, I'm choosing to lean into the excitement of what is on the other side of this.
I like that. And I think maybe going into that mindset, the more, because let's face it, majority of the time, the thing that we were catastrophizing over doesn't actually happen. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever had, like, I don't know, like this is an example, like the end of the day, you get an email from your boss and it's like, I need to talk to you first thing in the morning. And you're like, okay. And at first you're like, oh God, what could that be? Then you're like, what if it's because my sales are down or this or that? So you start catastrophizing about that. And then you start to like have this argument in your head. Then like you're going to say this and then they're going to say this and then you'll say this back. And then they'll be like, oh man. And then you're like, yeah, I quit or whatever. You know, you have this like elaborate argument with a person in your head, and then you show up to work the next morning and you're like, hey boss, you wanted to see me? And you're like ready, you're like, I'm gonna drop the hammer. And they're like, yeah, so and so's going on vacation next week, can you pick up like Monday as well? And you're like, oh yeah, I can do that, sure. So I don't know if she's going to talk about this, but the one of the other negative side effects to this is obviously you're like wasting a whole bunch of time, but the other thing you're doing is causing a lot of stress on your body. When you're thinking about something, often when you're catastrophizing something, like your brain puts your body into that fight or flight mode cortisol pumped through your system, like all that stuff. You could be laying in bed and your body thinks it's fighting a tiger, you know? And if you do that day in and day out, the majority of your time, that's a lot of extra stress, like on your heart and your nervous system and stuff like that.
On the fulfillment that it's going to bring me, on the abundance that it's going to add to my life. You only give energy to and breathe life into the thoughts that are in alignment with the best case scenario. That is the only thing that you are choosing to embody as true. That is the only reality that you know. And anytime you feel any type of thought come up into your reality that does not align with that, you get to say, I am not choosing to believe that. That is not true. And the only reality that you know and choose to live in is the one where you get everything that you ever wanted, the one where everything works out for you, and the one where you win. Point blank, period. That is your new state of being. This is how people achieve huge quantum leaps in their life where they are living in a completely different reality and the one that they want to be living in, the one that's in alignment with what they truly want for their lives because they chose to no longer feed the fear, no longer feed the thoughts of the current self, and only entertain and embody the thoughts and the belief systems of the version of themselves that has already achieved the event.
Yes. I agree with you in principle. I think it is harder to do that. And I'm sure she would agree that it is a skill that you need to practice. And it probably never gets super easy to do that because you really are rewiring yourself. Um, And the reason those people can go through all those like shifts is it's not a secret. It's not magic. It's nothing like that. It's just having a goal and a purpose in life, like a set endpoint that you are moving towards. And that clarity, I think a lot of people don't have that clarity.
The version of you who has already achieved everything that they've ever wanted, they are not wondering if it's going to work out or not. Like they already know that it's going to work out. They're not worried about if it's going to fail because they already know it's not going to fail. It's not failing in their reality. They already have it. That version of you is who you are aligning yourself with on a state of being level, meaning your thoughts, your feelings, your belief systems about yourself and your life, the way that you interact with the reality around you, and the way that you show up in your reality. You can absolutely have your best case scenario, living out your wildest dreams reality happen for you. You just have to believe that you can. So that is what I got for y'all today. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah. That was good. That was good. I agree for the most part. But I think that sometimes a lot of the manifestation world, I guess you want to say, like The Secret and all that stuff. I think a lot of times it doesn't necessarily lean into reality enough for me. Like, I want to have a positive mindset and I want to have a clear vision and I want to have a clear goal to move towards. But for me to act like if I manifest it, then like nothing bad will happen, you know? Like you just got to believe it hard enough. It's like, no, you can absolutely believe in your goals, but that's not what is going to have you achieve them. Like there's belief and then there's action. They have to go together. You have to believe that you can do it, but then you actually have to go out and do it. You know? And I think a lot of times the manifestation side of things, it's like, oh no, I'm gonna spend more time like cutting out a Lamborghini out of a magazine and putting it on my like dream board or whatever. And it's like, okay, you can have the goal of wanting a Lamborghini, but putting it on a dream board doesn't do anything for you. So why don't you take that time and you actually figure out an action plan of like how you're actually going to get this Lamborghini? You know, that's just my issue with the manifestation stuff. It's just a little too woo-wooey for me. I need something a little bit more concrete. I think as a man, I want like actionable things. And so like when I buy like a course or something from like there's been times where I like bought like a self-improvement thing from like a guru or something like that. And I open it up and I read through it, whatever, and then at the end I'm like, okay, but you didn't really tell me like what to do. Like I need step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Like that's just how I operate, you know? That's just how I operate. And I think that's also why a lot of men have issues with therapy too, because therapy kind of just talks about things a lot, you know, and doesn't really give us what we're really looking for. All right, let's check this one out. This I don't even know. The title of this one is "This is why some men stay even though they are cheating." Okay. Let's see about that. All right, let's see what she has to say.
Why do men who are unhappy in a relationship tend to cling on to other women knowing that they do not want to leave their unhappy relationship?
You providing something that he may not be able to find in them other women, and that's stability. Even if that's a stable place to come back to, a stable hug, stable attention, stable whatever, you feel me? You provide some semblance of stability for him. So then he can just go out and get pieces that he desires in a woman from other places, and then just come back and be stable with you, right? He don't got to commit to them other women. He don't got to build with them other women, because he can just kind of part himself out, especially because he not giving you nothing at home, you feel me? So you have to pull yourself out from underneath him, because he's building himself, his relationship, his preferences, all that. He building it on top of you. While he's not honing the skills required or for a relationship, or at least not applying what he's honing out there at home, he doing it somewhere. You feel me? Like what he getting from you, what he getting from these other women, you don't even see the benefit of it. So it's less about why won't he leave, why he still got somewhere to come back to.
Facts.
That's why you never say, at least he know where home is.
I would
Home
rather
is wherever that is.
That was point blank, nailed it on the head, you know? No matter what. If somebody's cheating, they're either a broken person, right? Well, facts, they are a broken person, but like you are not, and this is not a knock on you, but you are not fulfilling them 100%. And like the guy was saying, they're out there trying to fill their cup with everything that they need. Now, I'm not saying what they need is like healthy or right or correct, but in that moment, they think they need more than you as one person are able to provide. And coming from a man's perspective, I have met plenty of women over the years where one man will never be enough for them. Probably one man sexually will be enough for them, but it's that validation, that constant attention. Like one man's attention, they'll never be happy with just one man. And I think it takes a little bit of a life, like unfortunately it takes life experience to realize that, because you could tell somebody when they're younger that this is the way that it is, and they'll be like, no, she's different. He's different. No, I'm telling you right now. I could scroll their Instagram and I could tell you right now. I used to do this thing. I don't even know. Like it was this when I was single, I would do this thing. Here, let's go full screen on this bad boy. I would do this thing where I would bring up like a girl's profile, right? Like on social media. Let's just say it's like Facebook or whatever. Before I know them, I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm just like scoping things out. You know what I mean? And I would look at their profile pictures, and if their profile pictures were very suggestive, you know what I mean? Like you could just tell that they're like an attention grabbing profile picture. I would look to see who likes it. And if the ratio, for one thing, if like hundreds of people liked it, I was like, okay. Most people, real people, don't know that many people, And then I would look and it's like, okay, how many of these are dudes? And if it's like 90% of the people that liked this kind of like suggestive profile picture were dudes, I knew that that girl was one of those girls. One man's attention and affection will never be enough for that type of girl. Because it kind of goes twofold. Like, she clearly entertains all of those friend requests, right? Have you ever looked in a girl's DMs or friend request thing? It's just like friend request, friend request, friend request. I get a friend request, like, I'll get like 2 a year. Like, I don't get that many, It's just, it is what it is. So the fact that they're like, oh, I don't know this man, but I'm going to willingly invite him into my life and see like my more inner circle of what I have going on in my life because he will like my profile pictures and call me beautiful and give me this attention. Yeah. It's just a no-go. That is a red flag. The other thing is when you look at the pictures she has on her profile, if the majority of them are taken inside of her vehicle and they're like hundreds of them, and they all look very similar. I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but those types of women love to take pictures in their car. And then you're like, okay, because you're like trying to figure out like what's going on, like who is this person, right? And you're like, all right, so she takes a lot of selfies in the car. She takes a lot of selfies in general. And then if you have to say, I think she might have a child. If that's difficult for you to figure out because she doesn't really post pictures of her kid very often, she has nothing going on in her life because she's not posting like, yeah, there's a picture of me in front of the Eiffel Tower. Nope, just car selfies. And then if she and her appearance come before like sharing memories of her children, not a good sign. Not a good sign. Like I said, that type of a female is red flag right away. Without a doubt. Red flag. Red flag. All right. Let's move on to the next one. This will probably be, we'll probably do this one and then I'll jump into a topic. So let me flip the screens over here. That's kind of loud.
All the young girls that come across this, do not skip this. I have done OnlyFans.
Why is this doing this? Sorry, give me a second. Why? Okay, there we go. All right. So this video is called "Women Are Now Quitting OnlyFans and Trying to Find a Husband. This is the reason why." I'm going to say it's probably not going to be a super successful attempt, but we'll see. Maybe they'll find somebody.
All the young girls that come across this, do not skip this. I have done OnlyFans. I have sent nudes my whole life. I've been sexualized my whole life. And my mom...
Hold up. Hold up. You already lost me. Did we hear that little slip in there? Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. Would you tell me if you can hear the point I'm talking about?
Across this, do not skip this. I have done OnlyFans. I have sent nudes my...
Okay. She's done OnlyFans, sent nudes her whole life.
whole life. I've been sexualized my whole...
She's been sexualized her whole life. It started out as a video taking accountability, and already she shifted blame to somebody else. It's fucking mind-blowing.
whole life, and my mom never really explained why it's not good to do these things.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you serious? Your mom should have taught you that, yes, but you should have also known it's not a good idea to send nudes to everybody and to do OnlyFans. Like, now you're outsourcing your morality. You're saying, I was sexualized, which makes everybody think you were a victim. And then you're like, yeah. And like, I know I did this stuff myself, but my mom never taught me that I shouldn't. Passing the blame on to the mom.
I know it may seem like the cool thing to do when you're in middle school, high school, whatever,
Oh my
but
God.
those boys who are asking for nudes do not care about you. They want to sexualize you, and all they're going to do is show their friends, pass it around, and it's going to get spread. Once you share that image, it is forever out there. Even if it's on Snapchat.
Yes. Yes. Duh. And also, I hate that it's like painting boys as like evil for having sexual desires. Yes, men want to have sex. Yes, men have a high sex drive. It's just the way we are wired. Now, that does not excuse shitty things like spreading the pictures and all that stuff, but that is not cool. No, definitely not. But don't demonize boys, fucking 8th grade boys, for being sexually attracted to an attractive girl. Like, that part isn't wrong. That part is human nature. Now, like I said, because I have to reiterate it a billion fucking times, if they don't act responsibly with those images and they save them when they shouldn't and they share them when they shouldn't and stuff like that, that's a different thing. That's not cool. No one supports that. But it's very confusing as a young boy to have these sort of messages slammed in your face all the time, making you feel like you are a predator for having natural sexual desires. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 8th grade high school boys are horn dogs. Yes, absolutely. Them being attracted to a girl isn't the problem. Them being attracted to the girl isn't a predatory act. Them being attracted to the girl doesn't make the girl a victim, right? That's not where that happens. The victimhood line gets crossed if things become inappropriate, sharing, posting, all that stuff. That's different. No one agrees that that's a good thing. But it's gone to the extreme now because everybody doesn't want to take accountability for their actions. You know how many times I have heard a girlfriend describe her ex-boyfriend as manipulative? And when you ask him for examples, specific examples, like what would he do that's manipulative? Oftentimes, it comes down to explaining away them doing things that they regret now. It's like a magic word where you can say, yeah, I did all of these things and I acted this certain way. However, my ex was manipulative, and it just wipes their hands clean of accountability, right? So yeah, I mean, I did those things, but he was super manipulative, aka he tricked me into doing whatever I feel bad about now, etc. Right? So like, and I'm sure that I know that there are legit manipulative exes out there, but it's the fact that I've known many women now and have had many serious relationships, and they all say the same thing. And I have a feeling that it's not exactly true. I think it's a gray area. And I think some of these labels of calling somebody manipulative is a way of kind of washing your sins clean.
They can take a picture off of someone else's phone, off of their iPad. You should never trust it. Trust me, because I've been through it all, especially when you're young. Now is not the time to be trying to be sexy. I know it seems like cool because you want to be grown and you want to do this because you think you look good but I promise these boys are not going to.
She also loses anytime a female talks with their hands like this and needs to enunciate things like this, I automatically think they're stupid. Like if you can't argue without clapping your hands or snapping your fingers, then I just don't think you're very smart.
Value you. These boys do not care about your feelings. They do not care about your soul and your body and your temple. This is something you need to respect. This is the one thing you have control of. You have control of who gets pictures of this, okay? Treat it like you are a queen, like no one deserves to see you. That's how you need to view it, because once you start looking at like, oh, like I'm so sexy, I want everyone to see me, these boys will literally ruin your life. Like these images will get spread around to their.
These boys will ruin your life. Not you will ruin your life by doing this. Nope. Other people will ruin it for you.
Friend group chats to their next girlfriends. Like you do not want.
I'm pretty sure that never happens. That would be catastrophic.
These boys to have pictures of you. Learn from me. I got exposed and posted on stories and passed around pictures my whole life. It never goes away. People still to this day have old pictures of me when I was 14, 13 in middle school, and I did not know what I was doing because I didn't know better.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
The older you is literally going to wish you would have never sent anything out. Once you send a picture out, you cannot get that back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with what she's saying here. Absolutely. No one should be sending, boys or girls, no one should be sending nudes, especially when you're not an adult. Like once you're an adult and you want to do that, that's fine. But like, do not do it when you're underage. Like, absolutely not. Now, I just think she misplaces the blame. Like, I have not heard her say one thing about, like, I did this to myself.
I really wish I would have never sent a nude a day in my life. I promise you, They are literally looking at you like a toy. Even if you are talking or in a relationship or you think it's something you want to do, just trust me. If you have done it, go to an adult or tell someone about it and tell them that you really wish you shouldn't, and see if you can get help to get these pictures removed off of whoever you sent you's phone. These are little boys. They have the maturity of a squirrel. Do not trust them. Your body.
See what I mean? Do you think in 8th grade you were super mature? Me talking to her, you know? Clearly not, you fucking dumbass. Because you created an OnlyFans and there's nudes all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, do you think you were making mature decisions? No.
Body is a temple. You need to treat your body like you are a queen and like it is $1 million. And if you think you're gonna get married to these little boys, let it play out first. See how it goes. I promise you, please stop doing this. Please stop doing this. If I can make this my only video, I would. Please don't.
You should probably make it your only video. But I mean, there's probably lots of videos of you on OnlyFans.
So when I got off of OnlyFans,
she looks really familiar. And not because, like, I have an OnlyFans account or whatever, but, like, is she kind of famous?
I had significant debt. I got off of OnlyFans last year, in the beginning of last year. And I owed taxes for the previous year, right? And so now I'm not making that money anymore.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I need to pay taxes like an adult. Oh, yeah. Taxes. How can I blame this on men?
And I just want to encourage you guys, because this is actually happening right now to me. I had a letter from the IRS stating that I owed $288,000. And then from the Tax Board of California, I owed $88,000.
Yeah.
So that's state tax and federal tax.
Who would have thought? Taxes,
So
you know?
I was able to pay off the $288,000 to the IRS because I liquidated my brokerage account, you know, my IRA, my life insurance policy, and I used all that up, all of it. I have no more savings. So that was a really hard time in my life, but it brought me through some crazy circumstances with the Lord and trusting in God to provide my needs like he promises in the Bible. But I want to tell you something.
Oh my
I still
God.
owe that $88,000 to the Tax Board of California, and that they just sent me their final letter of saying like, hey, this is going to go.
I owe that $88,000, but you know what? The Lord is going to provide me a dumbass husband, and he will forget that I was an OnlyFans hoe, and he will pay it for me.
Going to collections literally next month. They said that they're going to put a lien. They're going to put a lien on my credit. They're going to potentially garnish my wages, all that stuff. It looks really scary, right? Like the mountains in our life, the giants in our life that are calling us out, picking on us. It's really scary not to go under. So I want to encourage you, if you are dealing with financial strain, if you're dealing with addiction, if you're dealing with family struggles, friend struggles, relationship struggles, they are not bigger than your God, the creator of the universe. They are not bigger. Cry out to God, but have faith enough to say, you know what, God, surprise me. Surprise me. Because he cares so much about you. He loves you. He wouldn't have sent his son to shed blood for you.
Oh, boy.
He wouldn't have. So I encourage you, ask God to surprise you, but have faith to know that he will. Nothing is bigger than our God.
Or
no
BBC.
Mountain, no giant.
Oh,
I was
man.
a stripper.
Jeez, like, I don't even know what to say about that one. Like, good, I guess. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, I did a whole bunch. And this is one of the things that I have just kind of issues with, like born again Christians and stuff like that, is just the fact that it's sort of like written into their belief system that you can be a degenerate and like absolutely fuck up your life for years and years and years. And then you can just like get right with God. And it's like, oh, he's going to forget about all that. And how convenient. Only God can judge me. So I don't even need to feel bad about the things I did anymore.
I did OnlyFans. I live in my truth. And
Holy fuck. We just talked about that not too long ago. The old living in your truth. God.
I am ashamed at the behavior I've done because I am now 28 years old. I'm actually 28 years young on this earth. And I can say that I'm ashamed because of a lot of different reasons. I can sit here and I can talk to women and explain to younger girls coming up and things. I thought it was cool. I thought this is what I wanted to do. I thought this is how I wanted to live. But all these females that you guys look up to in the industry, that the media pushes you, they're all miserable. They have no peace.
True.
They cry every night. They are not happy with themselves. They hate themselves. So much so, they get surgeries and they try to fit themselves to be in something they're not. And they're never going to fulfill it because they're not fulfilled on the inside.
Damn.
Like, right?
Damn.
Right?
Can a woman ever recover from being an OF
never
model?
No.
What?
Absolutely not.
But she changed her life, Sarah. She found God, Sarah.
Well, okay, let me reiterate. Can she recover? Yes. Will she have the best options of high value, high earning masculine men? No.
But she
Facts. Point blank. Facts. This used to be common knowledge. Like, OnlyFans is a form of prostitution. Okay? Whether you believe in prostitution, you think it's fine, whatever. I'm not talking about that. But you're trading sexual material for money. Just like porn stars. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. They made a whole movie about this, Pretty Woman, with Julia Roberts, like trying to, like, that it was novel back then, that because we all knew that that's not how it works. Like, a high value man is not going to be like, you know what? I have all these options. I've worked really hard to get to where I am in life right now. I've stayed on the straight and narrow. I've done everything. I'm successful. Let me settle down with a prostitute. Like, that's not how it works.
It doesn't matter.
She's abstinent.
She sold her body on the internet.
She's abstinent
People
now.
have seen her busted, spread wide open. There's no way.
She dressed modestly now.
What is modest when you've seen it all?
She is a member of the PTA, Sarah.
I love that for her. Ladies, we have to do a better job of measuring the consequences of our actions in the now. Now, although femininity deeply lives in the now, we also have to be mindful of what's going to happen in our future. If you decide to be ran through, if you decide to have an OF, if you decide to do adult entertainment industry, you are disqualifying yourself from a certain type of man. You are disqualifying yourself from certain types of opportunities and experiences.
Facts.
Now, that being said, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want and you want to be a bad bee and you want to be out here living your best life, doing all bad all by yourself, do you, boo? But I promise you, in the future, you will look back and you will regret the decisions that you made. It is not worth it.
So
I agree 100%. I believe in their right to do whatever they want, but that doesn't let you escape the certain realities of life. You know, is it fair? I don't know. It's just the way that it is. You know, you cannot do certain things without consequences. Everything has a consequence, a good outcome or a bad outcome. And for whatever reason, there's so many people on this earth that just feel like, ooh, my feelings tell me I should be able to do this, and I feel good about doing it, so everybody else must also feel good about me doing it too. It's just not the way it works.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Come on.
Gotta play devil's advocate here.
I love devil's advocate.
So what about the men? Why is it that
it's a double standard?
Oh, why is it?
Yeah.
Like a man's confidence is defined by how many women he break down in his bed.
Why does the sun come up in the east and go down in the west?
Because God made it that way.
Why do the stars sparkle?
But that's God's law.
Why is the sky blue even though it's not blue? Why? I don't ask those questions. It is a double standard. We can't sit here and pretend like we are the same as men. We're not. We're not. We can't wash men off. Period. No, I need you to hear me. We cannot wash men off. There will always be a remnant of the men that we've been with inside of our bodies for life.
Yeah. Sensational.
Sensational.
Damn. That was a good one to end that on. Wow. Wow. To drop some fucking knowledge there. And that's what men have been saying for a long time. Like that is how we feel. That is how we feel. Sorry you don't like it, but that's just the way that it is. It's the way that we are wired. Like we're not gonna settle for that. We're not wired to want to go after OnlyFans and prostitutes and stuff like that if we have other options. Now, are there some men out there that will? Yeah, sure. Some men will, but I would argue that they're not quality men, I would argue that they're not quality. All right, so let's move on to the first topic of tonight. I'll tell you how this is going to go. So, on all these streams, I have at least 2 topics that I like to talk about, and you can see them, right over here. So I'm turning 43 next month, and I have quite a bit of life experience now, unfortunately. And so what I want to do is pass that on to people. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to take my headphones off. One thing, my ears hurt. The other thing is I don't need them for the video. So I'm going to make this into a clip. So I'm going to basically film a video live. And then after that, we're going to talk about it. But while I'm filming the video, I'm not going to be reading chat. So if you message me and stuff like that, I'm not going to see it. But then we'll circle back afterwards and we'll talk about it. So I want to get a couple things off the screen here, just so that works. Start my recording. And heads up, I might have to redo some things, you know what I mean? I wrote down some notes to help me out here, but I feel like we can get through this. So this would be 10 life lessons that I've learned at 43. All right, here we go. So I'm turning 43 next month. And if I'm honest with you, life didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. I did what I was told to do, got the degrees, I worked hard, tried to be the good man. But nobody tells you that checking every box still doesn't guarantee happiness. You can do everything right. You can do everything right and still end up feeling lost. But looking back now, I'm glad things didn't go the way I planned, because what I've learned since then led me to the life I actually want to be living. So if you're younger than me, probably most of you are, if you're younger than me, pay attention. These 10 lessons might help you skip the years I spent figuring out the hard way. And that's going to save you a lot of time. So if you're younger than me, pay attention. These 10 lessons might help you skip the years I spent figuring it out the hard way. Lesson number 1. Love doesn't replace purpose. Relationships can amplify your life, but they can't fill an empty one. I've learned that the hard way. I've learned love without direction turns into codependence. Build your mission first, then share that mission with somebody you love. Purpose gives you direction to walk. Love just gives you someone to walk beside. Point number 2, lesson number 2. Chasing approval is a trap. Most of the dumb decisions I made came from trying to impress the wrong people. You waste years trying to prove you're enough when the truth is no one's keeping score. The only approval that matters is the kind that lets you respect yourself. The moment you quit chasing validation, you get your power back. Number 3, lesson number 3. You can't fix or change people. You can guide, you can inspire, even love someone, but you can't rebuild them. I tried to save people who didn't want saving, and it drained me. Protect your energy. Growth has to be a personal choice. You can't save someone who's committed to their own destruction, point blank, period. And I know this channel is mostly for men, but that probably is more for women. I can change him. No, you can't. Lesson number 4. Self-respect starts with boundaries. Every time I said yes when I wanted to say no, I taught people to walk all over me. Boundaries aren't walls, they're fences with gates, and you decide who gets in. Respect yourself enough to disappoint people who expect access they have not earned. Number 5, lesson number 5. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation fades fast. It's a sugar rush. Discipline is what shows up when you don't feel like it. In a way, I used to wait until I felt ready. Now I act first. And then the feeling follows, right? So before, I would wait to feel motivated and then I would act. Now I act and then I end up feeling motivated by the progress that I'm making. So again, motivation fades. Discipline builds the life you say you want. Lesson number 6. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's just the tuition that needs to be paid. Everything I'm proud of came after a massive faceplant, some sort of a failure. Failure is the tuition you pay for wisdom gained. You can't skip the payment, but you can make it count. Failure doesn't end you, it educates you. Lesson number 7. The body keeps score. At 43, recovery takes a little longer. Stress hits harder. You can't outwork bad habits forever. Eat decent food, lift something heavy, and get some damn sleep. And if that means lay off the caffeine, do it. Health is your foundation. Don't build success and your future life on a foundation that was built on sand. It will not last. Your body remembers every choice you make. Treat it like an ally, not a casualty. Lesson number 8. Your circle determines your ceiling. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is your future. I used to keep small-minded people around because it was comfortable. They didn't push me, they didn't challenge me. But comfort kills growth. Find people who challenge you to be sharper, to be better. You outgrow people when growth stops being mutual, and that is completely okay. Your goals might go this way, their goals might go that way. Don't force it. Let it be. Lesson number 9, calm is power. I used to think that being loud meant being strong, and it doesn't. Calm is control. When you stop reacting to every insult or crisis, you become unshakable, and that scares insecure people. A calm man is a dangerous man because he's already won the fight within himself. Self-control comes first, and there's so many people out there, men and women, that have zero self-control. And lesson number 10, time is the only real currency. Money, status, recognition, they come and go. Time doesn't refund. Be ruthless about where it is spent. I measure success now by how much of my time belongs to me. The older you get, the less you trade time for money, and the more you trade it for meaning. That's 10 lessons that cost me a hell of a lot of time, made a lot of mistakes, and had a few hard resets along the way. But I'll tell you this, every one of them was worth it. I'm not saying that I have it all figured out. Definitely do not have it all figured out. But I'm living a life that actually feels like mine now. And I feel like that is the whole point of this whole existence. So if something in this stream, in this video, hit home, please drop it in the comments. Let's chat about it. Excuse me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Seth. If you got something out of this video, again, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel out immensely. And if you're still doom scrolling, check out one of these videos right over here because I'm sure it's right up your alley. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, chat. First one done. Topic number 1 done. God. When you're talking like just steady, you start to get that little tickle and you're like, no. Hang on. Pull it together. Thankfully, I can edit. All right, so that's that. I'm going to get that out of the way. Okay, we're going to jump right into the second topic too while we're at it. So this second topic is about loyalty. And I really think it's something that's really, really needed nowadays. So here we go. Excuse me. It's not a good idea. I drink soda all the time on stream. Excuse me. I have to burp. All right, here we go. Loyalty. Specifically, what loyalty really means. Everyone says they're loyal, but you don't earn that title until you've had a chance to reset. Everyone says that they are loyal, but you don't earn that title until you've had the chance to betray it. Calling yourself loyal doesn't mean much if you've never had the chance to prove it. Real loyalty shows up in those quiet moments when no one's watching, when you could have crossed the line and no one would have known, but you didn't. It isn't fear that keeps you loyal, it's respect. Respect for yourself and for the person who trusts you. Tonight, we're cutting through the fantasy of what people think loyalty is because most don't actually understand it. They think loyalty is just not cheating. But it goes deeper than that. By the end of this conversation, you'll see why most relationships fall apart long before anyone ever touches someone else, and how to recognize those warning signs in your own life. All right, so I'm going to do that again. I bumped the mic a couple times in some good spots. So everyone says they're loyal, but you don't earn the title of being loyal until you've had a chance to betray trust. Calling yourself loyal doesn't mean much if you've never had a chance to actually prove that you're a loyal person. Real loyalty shows up in those quiet moments when no one's watching, when you could have crossed that line, but you didn't. No one would have known, but you chose the right thing and you did not betray trust. It isn't fear that keeps you loyal, it's respect. Respect for yourself and for the respect for the person who trusts you. So tonight we're cutting through the fantasy of what people think loyalty is. Because most don't actually understand it. They think loyalty is just not cheating. But it goes deeper than that. By the end of the conversation, you'll see that you'll see why most relationships fail long before anyone actually touches someone else, and how to recognize those warning signs in your own life. Why people justify betrayal? That is a good question. Here's the part most people don't want to admit. Disloyalty rarely starts with bad intentions. It usually starts with validation. Someone gives you a kind of attention that you've been missing, and instead of shutting it down, you decide you're going to entertain it. Because it feels good, and you've missed it, and you're craving it. So you tell yourself it's harmless. We're just talking. It's just a friend. But deep down, you know it's filling a space that used to belong to your partner. Most people don't chase affairs, they chase feelings. The feeling of being wanted again, the feeling of being seen, admired, understood. Once you start chasing that, loyalty becomes a matter of convenience instead of conviction. Ego plays into it too. We all want to know we still got it. We want to feel desirable, even when we're committed, even when we're mostly happy in our relationship. But that's where discipline separates real loyalty from impulse. Because loyalty isn't the absence of attraction, it's the decision not to feed it. You're always going to find people attractive, and people are always going to find you attractive too. So when people stop choosing discipline, they start rewriting the story in their head. My partner doesn't give me attention. It's not that serious. That's how betrayal hides behind excuses. Loyalty always costs something. It's not easy. Sometimes it's comfort. Sometimes you don't get that validation that you're looking for. Your ego gets hurt a little bit because, not as many people are giving you compliments. But that's what gives it value. If it didn't cost anything, everyone would have it. And we all know a lot of disloyal people. So, how disloyalty creeps in, and we'll call it the modern gray areas, okay? So these days, disloyalty doesn't always look obvious. Nobody has to sneak out of the house or tear up some hotel receipt to betray somebody. All it takes is a screen and a little curiosity. Emotional cheating has become the silent killer of relationships. It starts with harmless conversations, compliments, likes on people's pictures and posts, or those late night messages that start feeling a little too personal. You begin sharing things that used to stay between you and your partner alone, and you start seeking comfort somewhere else, somewhere outside of your committed relationship. Then comes what I call digital disloyalty: flirty comments, secret DMs, scrolling someone's story because you hope they notice. It's that small rush of validation, that quiet hit of being noticed again. Feels harmless until it's not. Because every little exchange chips away at the trust you're supposed to be protecting. The line doesn't get crossed all at once. It gets blurred. It gets smudged, less defined. And by the time someone realizes they've gone too far, they've already built a connection stronger than they ever intended to in the first place. Physical cheating might still be the final act, but it's rarely the first betrayal. The damage starts much earlier, in those tiny moments when you choose attention over integrity, fantasy over reality. In this generation, loyalty demands more discipline than ever before, because temptation isn't across town anymore. It's sitting in your pocket, waiting for you to be bored, lonely, or curious enough to look. And if you don't decide where your boundaries are, the world will happily decide them for you. Now, let's talk about what loyalty builds. You ever notice how everyone says they want loyalty until it's their turn to give it? Everyone wants the benefits of being trusted. Very few want the responsibility that comes with it. But when you actually live by loyalty, everything about how you move in the world changes. You stop chasing distractions and you start building direction. You stop needing constant validation because your actions start speaking for you. Loyalty isn't about relationships. It's not only about relationships. It affects everything. How you lead, how you show up for your friends, how you carry yourself when no one's watching. When people know they can trust you, opportunities follow. You become dependable, predictable, solid. Loyalty gives you clarity. It simplifies your life. Because once you choose a direction, you stop living divided between impulse and because once you choose a direction, you stop living divided between impulse and intention. That's what real strength looks like. That's what integrity is. It's not loud, it's consistent. Because in the long run, loyalty outlasts excitement every single time. So, in closing, loyalty is one of those words people throw around until it's time to live it. Everyone wants it, but not everyone is willing to give up what it costs. Because real loyalty doesn't just protect relationships, it reveals your character. It shows whether you can honor your word when no one's rewarding you for it. When there's nothing to gain and oftentimes there's some stuff to lose. Whether you can stand firm when the easy option looks tempting. And maybe that's the real point of all of this. Loyalty isn't just about someone else, it's about the kind of man you're choosing to be when no one's keeping score. You don't stay loyal because it's convenient. You stay loyal because it defines you. So before you expect loyalty from someone else, you have to ask yourself, can I be trusted when it's inconvenient? When no one's watching? When there's something to lose? That's the standard. That's where loyalty starts. And that's how you know it's real. And if you've ever been on the other side of this, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved or someone you trusted, and you're trying to regain your footing after that horrible break in trust, I created something that I feel like can help a lot of men specifically. Yeah, I want to do that part over. So if you've ever been on the other side of this, the one that had somebody that was disloyal to you, somebody that broke your trust, and now you're trying to rebuild your life and regain your footing and get your sense of reality, I created something that I think that can help, and it will be linked in the description of this video. It's a 7-day guide, and I called it Rebuilding After Betrayal. And I built it to help men regain clarity, confidence, and structure after being hurt in a relationship. So you can find the link to that 7-day guide in the description of this video and also in the description of the live stream. If that is you, bro, I'm sorry. I know it really, really sucks. But I want you to know things get better. I promise you. I know everybody says that, oh yeah, one step at a time, everything's gonna get better. Yeah, they're right, but it will not be easy and it will be extremely painful and it will change you. However, you have the power to make that change a positive one. Don't let it be a negative one. So again, check out that 7-day guide in the description. I hope it helps you out. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Seth. If you got something out of this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. And if you're still doom scrolling, check out one of these videos over here because I'm sure it's right up your alley. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. Boom. Second topic done. Second topic done. Boom, boom, boom. Hey-oh. Nice. Nice. Yeah. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up now. We got through our two topics of the night, and I don't know if we hit our sub count or not. Let's just take a peek. No, made a little bit, but we didn't hit the goal. That's fine. It is what it is. It's a bit of a slow grind. So I have a book coming out. And again, it's a lot of those life lessons, like the first topic. They're not those lessons, but it's the same thing. It's we'd say like self improvement. I'd really call it more of like a knowledge transfer. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I lived through all these things. This is how I got through them. This is the lesson that's taught from it. And I think it could be beneficial. It's written for men. I think it could be really beneficial for a lot of men out there. I am hopeful that by the end of the month, so like the end of November, that it will be available for sale. And I will link it all over the place and probably do a video alone, just kind of talking about it because I'm proud of it. And I think it will help a lot of men out there. So, yeah, I think that's it for me tonight. That was a good stream. We had some good conversations. And I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Remember, we live stream every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, make sure like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're at 5,659 subscribers. So really looking forward to the next milestone, which is 10K, which feels very far away. But at one point, 5K seemed very far away as well. So, all right. Thank you so much. I am signing off for tonight.